The next question you have to ask is, how many customers are there for you? Maximum. We start with the maximum, we reduce it later. You should calculate. If you have a physical shops, then how many pass by and how can you get people to come there? If it's internet you are selling over, for instance, then how many interested would there be who could there? How many people need your product and where you can offer an improvement? So based on that you have to decide how many they are. Now I know that when I studied, for instance, in India I was selling screen printing machines. I know there was about 300, 400 screen printers who was on the top end of the highest quality machines they could need. So that was only that. So then we used, for instance, exhibitions to find them. So like this you have to think, where do you find them? Yes, but also how many are they then who fill this definition of what you are doing? In which geographical area are they? You can't calculate the whole world. You have to see those who are here who could actually be your customers. How many are they maximum? The first one is one who is selling over internet and an internet only. And here we have selected a special site that has made their special things to have garments and all other kinds of products for women who are expecting a baby. Now for this company we will say that we are working in an area, a geographical area which has 5 million people. It might also be 5 million, it could be country, it could be a state, it could be a language area or whatever it is, but 5 million people we say that we have, which is our targeted area. So 5 million population, and to them we say 54% are women, that is 2,700,000 people. And the number of children per woman in this area is 2.2 on average. And during years they typically get children during a 6-year period. So during this year, from the first to the last, should normally be within 6 years. Or there will be, of course, some who has more and some who has less, and those who only get one will be shorter. But this is a calculation number which we needed. And the average maximum age of these women, we say, is 70 years. Some will be older, some will be younger. And the percentage of the women who are in the typical age for being able to have kids, to have babies, they say, is 231,429 then, if we use the figures above. And with the 2.2 babies in average during a 6-year time, it means that we have 0.37 babies every year per person during the 6 years who is coming there. So average children per year will be 84,857, and compensation for twins and things that will be lower will be 82,311. And then we calculate the maximum number of buyers to 82,311 in this area, which has a population of 5 million. Our second example here is a shop who are selling hobby fishing equipment, and they are situated in a village, in a recreation area where there are a lot of people coming for the purpose of fishing. And this is an example how to calculate when you have a physical shop. If you have both online and physical, of course, you can combine figures, calculate twice, one for the internet and one for the physical. And this fishing shop are in the same area with 5 million people. And the number of people who have the right ages for being possible buyers from a shop like this are 3 million. And the number of them who has fishing as a hobby will be a bit higher among men and a bit lower by women, but the average is 18%, so 540,000 people will have fishing as a hobby at least. And how many of them will visit a resort? Well, in an average year here, we say that 8% of them will come to this specific resort, because this is a very popular place. So we calculated in a year 43,200 people will come to this place for fishing and so on, and where you have the shop for fishing equipment. The third and last company is a company that has developed an app, and it's selling that is suitable for import companies. I have myself experience from dealing with an app for export companies, but here I turned idea. It's a new idea then, that in this app they can send some free other sub-apps to this to the exporters, so they can get information, they can feed in, and they can follow the process, and this way they can be very effective. So here we have this company who's developing apps for importers. So in this area we have 1,000 import companies, and the percentage of them who could need this is 30%, which means that we have a maximum number of buyers of 300. So this figure is what we will calculate from in the future. Now it's your turn to calculate. Look at the examples that I have given here, and then you yourself will make calculations in a similar way based on your project. Because everybody won't buy. The first question you have to ask, how many will learn about your product or service? How many will, from that point of view, be possible to be a customer? Because there will be a lot of buyers out there who are not will see your information, who will not know about you, even if you have the right product for them or right service. So how many will learn about your product or service? How many will be interested? Because learning about it doesn't make people interested. And to this comes also then how good you have been successful in your marketing. But how many will be interested? How many will say, yes, this looks interesting? And then how many will perhaps buy? And when perhaps buy, I mean, how many will start a process to think maybe they should buy? And finally, how many will actually buy? And that is much less than what is the maximum. Normally it's very much less. Some cases maybe it's only 1 on 1,000. You have 1,000 maximum, and you can only have 0.1% of them. To have higher, you have to have some very good improvement for the fund to buy it. If you have a web page, if they don't visit your web page, then even if you have the right product, they won't come there, and you are losing people on the way all the time here. And connected to a question which is also part of this is, why will people not buy from you? What is it, the reason that they will say no? And this you have to say, okay, they haven't seen you is one, but apart from that, what is it that makes them say no? And if you learn that, you can also help yourself to see how can we get them to say yes. So now we will start with the first company who is working online. Yeah, in the last calculation we made on the step 5, we find out that this company had a maximum number of customers of 82,300 roughly, and now comes the question, how many will learn about it? And when you work online, even if there are a lot of customers as buyers, it's very normal that you get a very few of them, sometimes less than 1% even of the theoretical maximum customers. So in this case we say that you still have a very good marketing based on that this is a very clear group, target group, and that you have made some good marketing, and then we put it to 15%. So it might be lower than that, but we make that in this calculation, and the figure can be higher after some years when you get well known. And this generates a little over 12,000 possible buyers left. And out of this 12,000, how many will be interested? And just because you have products for it doesn't mean they're interested. They can find things from other sources, or they don't want this kind of products, or whatever it is. So we put it to 40% of these who learn about it will be interested. Then we are just under 5,000. And how many will start a process? Go on the web page, start to pick items and so on. We say this will be 60% of the 5,000. And then finally, how many will actually buy, finish there? And starting to put things in the basket doesn't necessarily mean that they finish it, but here we say 50% frequency we have, and then it's roughly 1,500 actual buyer we will calculate on. And this will be for further calculations later when we go through the economics. Now we are to the second company, who are a physical shop for this fishing equipment. In regard to this shop, we have said that they are placed in a recreation area where many people come for fishing, and we had already calculated that there will be 43,000 something visitors in a year who will come here for fishing in the interesting places in the area. And then we ask ourselves, how many will learn about this shop to start with? And as they are interested in fishing, and as you have the shop, the only one we say in this case, we say there is a 70% chance that they will find. But this can vary a lot depending on the circumstances. So when you make your own calculation, don't just take the figures, think it's true. If there are many other shops, this figure will be much lesser. But in this case, we have 70%. That lands us on about 30,000 customers left. And how many of these 30,000 will be interested in this? So we say that's about 50%. 50% because some will not need to buy anything. They have it with them from when they come from outside and into the area. They have all the fishing equipment. But some will definitely come and say, yeah, we need to buy something extra that we have, or they maybe don't have anything, or they forgot something at home and they need to take it. And we say 50% on that gives the half figure, 15,000. And how many will start the process then? Well, when people are in a shop, they're quite high number many times. So we say 60% here. So that will be 9,000. And how many will actually buy? That will be high figure. When they are in the shop and have started, they're likely to finish it. So we say that 7,711 is the figure we will use for the further calculations later. And finally, we look at a computer app for import companies. This computer app had a maximum number of buyers, 300 companies, we said, that need this type of product or could need it. And then we said that how many will learn about it? Well, in this case, it's not so difficult to market in a way because it has a very targeted group. It's not so much about advertising on the internet or something like that. It is more to send them letters or call them up or whatever, or be in an exhibition or wherever they see. So in this case, we will say that 70% we should be able to get to learn about this, and it could be higher because we could even reach 100% if we have a good marketing with the letters and telephone calls and so on. So how many will be interested here? Yeah, we say that 80% of these 210 companies that we end up should be interested because, of course, if they have a import business, and if this is an app that helps them to import, they will be interested. So we say 168 of them. And how many will start a process? Well, we think this will be much less because they will say we have done in a certain way for a long time. They will say we don't want to pay any more money right now, or there can be hundreds of reasons which they give. So 20% is a more realistic figure here, we think, and that will be then 34 companies. So how many will actually buy? Well, we say 75% of those who start a process, who have had discussions with you and so on. So that will be 25 companies. And depending on price, this will make sense or not sense, but of course then you can go to other areas, other countries, other things, but this is just a rough thing, and this is good for a calculation. And sometimes if you look at this computer app, if maybe you are not selling by having one fee in the beginning, maybe you're charging per month, and then having 25 customers paying per month can make a lot of sense. And now it's your turn to calculate, and now you have to adapt figures, and this is a bit difficult. It's always high risk and things, and it is so easy to calculate too big numbers in there. So go through, see how you are selling this actually, how things are going through, and how do you reach your customer, how many % of them each step, like these 3 examples was given. Put it up like that and make them. How often will the customer buy from you? This is a critical question, and the answer to that will help you to calculate if you have a profitable project or not. Is it one time in a lifetime? Let's say you're selling pre-manufactured houses or something else like that. Then you need new customers all the time. You have got a customer, but you will only have them one time. So, yeah, you can forget them when they have bought the house. So you need to have someone else. Or is it, let's say, every 5th year, like a car or a ski equipment? Then maybe they only want it every 5th year. And then you have to see, okay, I want to keep those I have got, but it will also be critical to get new customers all the time, also to search new one very hardly. This is a key issue. Then maybe someone wants to buy every month. Let's say you have a subscription of some kind, we give some service, or you are doing a garden work, or you do things like that, which is on a monthly basis. But then you need to keep them, because then it's costly to lose them and have to get new buyers all the time. So you will have to work very hard to get things done in keeping them. Almost every day, maybe if you have a food shop, for instance, then you're also a key issue of keeping the customers. And this, as I said, is a base of calculation of profitability of the project.